10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another edition of Men of Promises, a Man's Conversation. I'm Minister Craig Sanders with my co-host,
Ariel Prater.
and we have two beautiful co-hosts in the studio with us today, Miss Sherry Sanders and
Tanya Prater.
all right. How y'all doing today?
Great.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
You know what? It's
Yeah.
nothing like having some beauty in here.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look at this guy over
Right.
here,
And this guy right here. It's
it's
not the same.
It's
Yep.
not the same. It's not the same.
Nope.
All right, so we're at another podcast. We want you guys to come again. Your presence is welcome, and we want to say thank you. Anything specific you want to say to our co-host?
Yeah. Glad you all are here. It's going to be a great conversation.
It's going to be a great conversation.
Be
Again,
good.
if you want to call in, our number is 470-412-0917, or if you have a question or comment, please email us at menofpromise2018@gmail.com. And we're going to pick up on a conversation we had last week,
Right.
which we were talking about Father's Day and the importance of having fathers in your life.
Right.
Me and you talk a lot about our fathers.
Mhm.
Yours was more
Yeah, he was there.
intricate. He was there.
He was there.
Mine was like
Yeah.
a bus. He's like a bus. Like if you lived in the city, the bus came every 10 minutes. He was there for 10 minutes. He left. He was there. He left. That's how I mean.
Pick up, drop off.
That's what it
keep on
was.
going.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, take it or leave it. That's how it was. You know, still loving.
You're
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Still intricate.
Yep.
Got me a couple places, but as far as knowing he was going to be there all the time. Anyway, we gonna move on.
Sometimes you miss the bus stop.
Yeah, on purpose. I don't feel like going with him for the
Skip that
weekend. Yeah, and if he was broke, you had to pay a fare. Like, Dad, I gotta give you gas money. Like, God, dog. All right. So let's pick up on that. So we got our two other co-hosts in, and it's always good to have different perspectives
Yes, definitely.
from different people.
Right.
And the celebration of Father's Day, I really think we need a weekend for Father's Day.
Mhm.
We need a Friday, Saturday,
Exactly.
Thursday, Friday,
Mhm.
Saturday, like a 4-day.
I like that.
Because it's very important to understand that
Mhm.
fathers need to be celebrated.
Exactly.
And not that mothers don't. You know, y'all got Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and your birthday. Father's Day is the gyp holiday. It's the if I don't have to buy nothing, I won't buy nothing.
Says the person that just got a $200 game and remote control.
See, I'm not your father.
Mm.
So the kids are supposed to celebrate me. I'm your big daddy, but I'm not your father.
Yeah,
So
but your kids don't have jobs yet. So
they could have They could have went downstairs and made me cookies. They could have made me a card. It's a bunch of crayons. It's a bunch of broken pencils. That would have sufficed. I didn't get nothing when I was still happy.
I can take the remote control.
I didn't say that. I said my children. I already played with my remote control. You can't take
Did
it back.
you
It's
really?
used.
You like it?
I didn't play with it yet, but
Oh.
it will be used by the time we get home. But no, it's the gyp holiday. I'm not being personal. I'm just saying, for the most part, there's no line to get into Copeland's on Father's Day.
You're right.
Because most of the women are cooking for their husbands.
Listen, all the yams are not gone at Walmart for Father's Day.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Is it true?
But
Did you
The
cook?
women are cooking.
They're cooking.
Did you cook?
But Walmart wasn't busy.
No,
No, it
because-
wasn't.
break.
Yeah.
Walmart actually.
Because women are more proactive in planning. Like I
Right.
ordered your Father's Day gift months in advance.
You should order.
Men, we're not like y'all waiting until the
Very
last
last
minute.
minute.
Yeah, and scrambling. That's why everything is gone, and it's hard to get into restaurants because most women already had reservations months in advance. Everything was planned.
Everybody
It
was
wasn't-
at the card
organized.
station.
It
Trying to
wasn't-
get cards last minute.
It wasn't
Yeah.
busy at restaurants. It was not.
I think at Golden Corral, it may have been busy, but that's a regular Sunday for
Right,
Golden
that's-
Corral.
It's
Wait a
COVID. COVID did that.
Wait a
Things
minute.
changed.
Wait, you must be talking about some of your ex-boyfriends that waited till the last minute to celebrate you on Mother's Day because you never had a problem waiting on me. Matter of fact, I like to go out to dinner before or after because I don't like you got to eat breakfast at the restaurant that you at while you're
Right.
waiting in line
Mhm.
to eat lunch.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
Yeah, Mother's
Day
Day,
is
right?
crazy.
And
Yeah.
we make our reservations way in advance for Mother's Day
Mhm.
because we know everybody's gonna be there.
I'll just be honest with you. I'm not the guy that wants to stand in line
Mhm.
for a dinner. I'd rather cook,
Mhm.
have it at the house. I'll do something exquisite. Now,
Yeah.
Sherry's a little different. She wants
Mhm.
to wait in line, but yeah.
It's called I have patience. He doesn't.
Or
Well,
you
What
make
are
that
you talking
reservation.
about?
We just had that conversation.
You make that reservation. You show up.
Well,
and yeah.
I'm just a different type of guy. Anyway, I think as far as men are concerned, fathers or dads, same role, are doing better with being more responsible for their children, being more responsible for their home, being more responsible for the things that it takes to be a dad.
Mhm.
And then you have the blended family dad who steps up and takes on a child that's not his own.
Mhm.
Like you
Right.
took a teenager on,
Mhm.
I took a 5-year-old on.
Mhm.
And that was before I had my own children, and
Right.
same with you.
Yes.
Guys like me and you really need to be saluted, and that's why we need the 4-day weekend,
Yep.
because we're
Exactly.
doing twice as much as
Mhm.
the regular Joe Blow out
I
there.
believe it. Yep.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
are.
Yeah, twice as much at patting yourselves on the back.
Right.
You lucky this podcast is down the street from our house, because you would be walking home.
There's no way.
So,
So we celebrate you. We do. We celebrate you guys. And it is a blessing. And, honestly, when we first got married, I didn't really look at it that way or really acknowledge what you were taking on, the sacrifice, the responsibility, and just how much it really meant. I kind of took the wrong attitude in that it's a package deal. You knew I had a kid when we met. It is what it is. This is your responsibility, instead of looking at it like, we're blessed to have you, and everything that you're doing and sacrificing to take on a child that is not your own is admirable. It's appreciated, it's valued, and I remember when it hit me exactly what you were, sacrificing and giving. I remember coming to you and just saying, that I don't feel that I've really acknowledged you and really expressed to you how much it meant to me that you are taking on this responsibility and you are willing to do it. And it was just like a moment that I had where I was just like, wow, I do value and appreciate you doing that. So you're right. I think more women need to really give honor and respect and, appreciation where it's due.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, we've had this conversation about if you haven't had a father in your life,
Mhm.
you're going to take one or two routes. Either
Yep.
you're going to continue the same attitude or
Mhm.
what you've seen, or
Right.
you're going to turn that negative into a positive.
Mhm.
Whereas I saw some stuff that my dad did that I never wanted to see anybody else go through. And the other thing is there are not many women out there who don't have children. So if you are going to be the man that you are, taking on a child is something that you have to be acceptable to.
Yeah.
And not just acceptable, he was 4 when we got together. He's
Mhm.
30 now.
Right.
So my challenge was raising somebody else's son where within those 4 years, he already had his mindset on what he was going to do and how he was running game.
Right.
And then it was terrible the first couple months
I'm
because
sure.
she didn't understand what my role was.
Mhm.
She
It's an
didn't.
adjustment, because you're going from it just being me and him for 5 years to now all of a sudden someone's coming in, and you got to be patient through that process because you have a mother and son who have an established relationship. They have an established way of doing things and an understanding, and then you have someone coming in from the outside kind of looking in that sees things completely different, and you're going to have your input into something where there has been no input. And so we're in kind of a compromising position because at the same time, we're bringing somebody in to something that's already established. And we don't ever want that child to feel like, well, now that he's here, things are changing. Even though they are going to change, you want your child to still feel safe, to still feel secure, to still feel important. And when you put someone else who you're now having to put first in the relationship, that child can tend to feel like they're being left out. They can feel like, they don't have a place anymore, or they're not as important to the mom anymore. So you're like in the middle, one, trying to keep peace, two, trying to establish the relationship between you two, even though you're doing an establishment of a relationship as well. You almost feel like you're in the middle because you're, and then you're also protective too. You're protective of the child, so.
Is that something you guys dealt with?
She's kind of spot on, I think, with what we are dealing with. But when we got together, he was a teenager. So, when we got married, he was a teenager. So he's definitely set in some ways that need to be adjusted. And for a long time, it was just me and him. And so it may have worked. Or essentially I was a single parent, even though his dad is in his life, he's just not as active. And so letting Ariel kind of come in and take some of those responsibilities off of me, I welcome that. And seeing how he can help mold him into a better man. Since he's like
Ariel can come
right
to my
now.
house and take some of my responsibilities.
No, you got a lot of responsibility over there.
Yeah, and it's like children can already be manipulative to some degree. They're going to try to play
course.
people back and forth, but in a situation like that, it's even worse because they're like, Mom, you're letting this man come in and establish these rules and discipline me and, talk to me this way. And, they're just not used to that. So, you're trying to explain it to them and telling them it's a good thing, but they're like, they don't like it because it doesn't feel good because they can't do what they're used to doing.
Right.
Yep.
They have boundaries that they've never had before. You're setting structure that they've never had to deal with before.
Right.
And so it's a challenge. And then, when they're coming to us and they don't like it, they're complaining to us and we're in the middle,
Right.
So we're trying to,
Why do we have to
we're
do
trying to
this?
keep the peace because we don't want you mad and we don't want them mad. It's a very difficult situation to be in.
It is.
It's definitely, it is a hard situation.
Well, it's actually like living the life that you wanted to live and then coming into being a Christian. Because there's structure, there's standards that you now have to abide by, that you need for life longevity and to live this lifestyle.
Right.
And it's not impossible, but it's important because when you have a real man, he's going to step up and he's going to challenge what you guys have brought in. And you're saying, hey, we have to accept him in, but actually he has to accept you into his kingdom. The two have to merge. Like the saying, when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. I bet you when you go to Vegas, you don't act like you are in Georgia. You go to Vegas, you party, you drink, you eat. Why?
Because that's what you do in Vegas.
Because that's what we do in Vegas. So when you come into see what you didn't see, and this is not a negative, it's just a perspective. When you came into my life, there was a kingdom that was already established of structure and standards. So when God put you in my life, knowing he will be for those same structures and standards that were erected when we got married, they would just expand, they would just grow. The challenge is the growing part, the building on top of something else, the accepting of how am I going to deal with this? And both of us have to accept each other. But you were coming into a kingdom that really was establishing your family, your children, and what God wanted. Not that I was perfect, but that in traveling, in going through the desert, there are going to be some high points and some low points. And there are going to be some dry places and some moist places. And we have to work together as a family, as a unit, to find out what's best for the child.
That's pretty powerful, because I think from a woman's perspective, I know I never really looked at it like that. I always kind of looked at it like you're coming into our neck of the woods and you're trying to establish in our neck of the woods because we're already established. I never looked at it from the other angle, that we're also coming into your world that's already established and we're trying to blend the two.
So let's look at,
and that's sad that I look at it that way, but that's really how I looked at it, you know.
But it's okay, because our perspectives are always different. But let's look at it like this. When me and you got married, you moved to California. What did you come into when you moved to California versus what you were dealing with living in Atlanta as a single mom?
Well, when we first got married, you said there are some things that I won't have to do anymore, you know, as in being a single mom to now having you there. So I was used to doing everything, you know, the provider, I was working, I was the mom, I was the, everything. And then when you came along, it's like you did a lot of stuff, you know. You would get up and cook, you would get up and get them dressed, you would take them to school. I mean, for a minute, I think it kind of spoiled me, because I was like, dang, I don't have to get up. He's up, because you were the morning person and I hated getting up in the morning. And so it was really, it was really good. I think, like I said earlier, I took it for granted in the beginning because it was just something I wasn't used to. And then the longer we were married, I came to that realization that, wow, this is really a blessing to me. It's a gift, and I value it. And I had to, grow to really recognizing what it was you were doing and appreciate it. So
going back to you coming into my kingdom, when we met, you were living in an apartment. When you moved to California, we still lived in an apartment, but it was a what kind of apartment?
It was more luxury.
It was a luxury apartment. We actually had a gate that you had to go through. Your apartment, they didn't even have a gate.
It had a gate. It
was didn't
just
work.
Open.
It was just always
It was just always
I've
open.
been there.
Right. We also moved into a millionaire's town.
We're in Tustin, which it was really nice. Everything was brand spanking new.
Right. Your job was fairly close.
Orange County. Yep.
We bought you a brand new car.
Yep. Fully loaded.
Right. We then, see, this is the key. A real man is not going to be challenged with sacrificing everything that he has for his wife and his child, even though the child is not his. He takes that child as his own. Because I remember having a conversation with you one day, and I was telling you I didn't have to be intricate in his life. I could have just been married to you, and he would have been a branch on a tree. And you have men out there that are like that. But when you come into my kingdom, I'm taking care of everything. When we moved here, I sacrificed my business. I kept my credit good. I was able to buy a house, no job, good credit, money saved up. And so what you weren't used to was my everyday day of life. Operating in this structure, so that when it was time for me to move, I was able to make moves.
You were ready,
whether you were there or not, because I was making moves before I met you. Meeting you was a move that I had to prepare for. So to God be the glory, because he's the one that put us together. Even though you are email order bride, I appreciate that.
No, he did.
She is. We met on email.
I know.
Yeah. That's good. It's powerful. Thinking about just what you say about your kingdom and blending the two. I think that is a lot of it, because I come from a lot more structure, and when I don't see the structure there, it can make you a little angry and frustrated, and it's like you have to walk a fine line between, letting them feel protected and feeling comfortable, but still yet we're still teaching these lessons that I know you need as a man out here.
Right.
And really trying to break some of that stuff down it's hard to do. But, you have to, like I said, I think it's walking a fine line because you don't want to.
You don't want to break the child.
No, you don't want to break them. And you don't want to just mandate stuff either. You want to, for me, it's always a learning. Like, let's think through this. Now, why would I tell you to do this? Let's think through this.
Yeah.
It's not a mandate because mandates
Like do it my way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mandates don't work.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you really sit down and start to think like, oh, that's why. And it may not hit you until later. And it may not hit you until years later. Who knows?
Yeah.
Where you actually finally get it. But that's what I'm trying to instill because I feel like that's the way I was taught. So I love it when somebody does that or when someone does it to me. Yeah.
Your process is correct. You have an older child.
Yep. Exactly.
Teenager. So let's say it was 14, 15?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even though he was set in his ways, I had a 4 or 5-year-old that, and this is.
But he was very smart too, though.
Right, but he was the man of his house.
Right, exactly.
And those were things that had to be challenged because there are certain things that, and I'm not taking anything away from mothers, there are certain things that a mother can instill, but when that's your priority, you take his feelings in consideration more than you would take.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And so we had a problem with him peeing in the bed. So we were a family that we always went out to dinner. We was probably out to dinner 5 or 6 nights out the week. And he was able to drink as much water as or juice or whatever he wanted to. Well, we lived an hour away from my family.
Okay.
So he fall asleep in the car. By the time we get to the house, he would go to the bathroom. But then in the middle of the night, he would pee in the bed. So my solution was he can't drink any water after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And you would have thought Mount Vesuvius erupted in my house. But I'm the one getting up, changing the sheets, putting him in the bathtub. And you would have thought I was, the hillside slayer. She thought I was. And I was like, look, we have to stop this.
Exactly.
And so the importance of a father is to see an issue and say, like you're saying.
Exactly. You got to correct that behavior.
You got to correct that behavior.
Right. However you have to do it.
And I wanted to use an example, and I forgot what it was. I'll bring it back up. But, the thing is working together because it's really not your kingdom anymore, and it's really not my kingdom. It's ours, and what is now beneficial for the child. That's what's the most important. Right. You're working on budget. I'm working on my kids, making sure that their housework is done before they do anything else. Right. So my son is 16 and we're letting him pay for all of his school stuff, ACT stuff. He buying his own tennis shoes. Right. Yeah. And I'm basically teaching him, hey, if you got to spend all your money to take care of your responsibility, do that because it doesn't make sense to save money if I'm teaching you responsibility in a different manner. Right. Sometimes you got to spend that money and let God bring you more, but showing that you're a good steward over the little that you have.
You got to be a good steward. That's the main thing. Yeah. You can have what you want and still save also. Yeah. That's what the whole budget comes down to.
And this is the thing about, again, about fathers is what needs to be done. And I knew that you guys would not be able to survive in Inglewood, California. I knew you guys, the influence, the manner in which people operate. So that's why we lived in Orange County. But then you were like, we could have more in Atlanta. And I was like, ain't nothing out there but cowboy boots and horse boo-boo. I don't want to move out there.
That's
And so, then you got here, and it's nothing like that. Thanks.
It was
out here where you live at.
He came out here and visited and did not want to go back.
Exactly.
We ended up staying a whole extra week, and then he was like, "I think I want to move."
No, that's not. No,
that sounds about right.
That's not what happened. That is not what happened.
I don't even want to go back to California. California ain't nothing.
No, I didn't say that then. I said it later on that year. So what happened was we came out here for your sister's graduation the first week in June, and we had a Friday night flight. So we had Saturday, Sunday. I think we were flying back Sunday night or Monday. And
You got invited to preach that following Sunday. So you decided to stay.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
I got an invitation to preach at a church.
See, you
So
glossed right over that.
God was like, stay a week.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of leaving on Friday, we were leaving on Friday again. The next Friday. And then the next Friday came and God said, stay another week.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there like, there is a business that needs to be taken care of.
Right.
There's a house.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, we
went back, and then when we got back, you said...
No, you're going too fast. We were at your mom's house in Columbus, Georgia, after I preached. And this is what the Lord said. He said, it's time for you to move. I have a house being built for you right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So we went back to LA.
And not right away, but it may be like within that week, you said, I just keep hearing God say it's time to move. And in my mind, I'm thinking, move somewhere in California, you know? And I said, okay, I'm just listening to him. And then he was like, no, move to Georgia. And I was like, quit playing. Like, do not play with me like that.
Well,
he was like, no, I'm serious. And next thing I know, he was giving notice to the leasing office.
Yeah.
He was talking to people about, you know, selling his shop. And, you know, then he came and said he was giving his shop away. And I was like, then we were planning like a going away party. I was like, this is real. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking like, yeah, he just, you know, he gonna come back and be like, gotcha or something, you know. And then next thing I know, we had rented a truck. We started packing, and then it was like really real. We had the going away party, and we did like a money tree where people were just giving us money, and then we were on the road driving back to Atlanta. I was just like, this is really happening. I was so excited.
Well, we started moving in July, but the Lord had been telling me right before the new year that it was time to move. He just didn't give no instructions.
Okay.
Kind of like build the ark, and I'm gonna give you the wood.
Right.
We're gonna start with the wood. Get the wood first, and I'm gonna show you how to put all this stuff together. And so it was just confirmation. So we come here. We get here in September, August, the beginning of August. We stayed with one of her crazy friends. And in September, we started looking for a house.
Probably.
Because we moved in October. So within 2 months, I bought a house, no job.
Wow.
Credit score was 800. It was like, boom. So when we get the house, we move into the house. I go back and I look in the house, and it shows the date they start building the house. It was June 19th.
Wow.
2000. We were still here.
Right.
No, we either just left or right around the time God said, I have a house being built for you. That house
was being built.
That's great. At that time. Yep. So when it's truly what a man is supposed to do, he's not going to worry about sacrificing anything he's given, because if you know God is on your side, you're not worried about failing. I wasn't worried about failing. I was more intrigued on doing exactly what God said to do. And he said, it's time for you to move.
Yeah. And it's amazing. I mean, because even the money we needed for the house, like you had already had a savings account established. And, you know, like you said, when you have a true man, a true leader, you know, one who hears from God, then who follows God and is obedient, you know, it's no place that you can't go. And it, you know, being a single mom and relying on yourself for so many years, that was another adjustment, because you have to learn to trust and feel confident that someone besides you has your best interest at heart, you know, because you've been the protector, you've been the provider, you've been everything. And so now to let somebody else come in and step in and kind of take over that role, it's an adjustment when you're so used to doing it all, you know. And just like, you know, in explaining that it's a process, you got to be patient with each other. So anybody that's in that situation, you have to understand that it takes time to break old habits and to learn a new way. And that's basically, what we have to do as single moms.
Yeah. Tanya didn't have a problem giving me the provider part.
I was just gonna say that was the exact same thing I was gonna say.
I want to hear her say it. Can she say it, please?
I did. I was like, yes. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about this stuff. Let him, and I'll follow.
So did your accommodations change drastically when y'all got together?
Yes. I went from my 2-bedroom apartment to a nice size home with a lot of bedrooms.
Yeah.
So the place downtown was her place?
No.
We actually didn't live together until.
But then you guys have a place downtown?
No, I had a place downtown.
You had a place downtown?
Yeah, I had a place.
I still had a place in Dunwoody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys were two different parts of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know you had some by the Brave Stadium, right?
No, Midtown.
Midtown.
Yeah, Atlantic Station.
Okay.
Yeah, lived there for a long time.
So when you guys, tell us how you got together. How did you guys merge the two houses? Was there a house in between before you got to the?
Yeah, there was a house in between.
There was.
There was another thing that happened.
Oh, the income
rental
property.
Yeah, exactly. So had to go put that together. Remember when I was talking about it with her, I was like, we could go live out here, be free.
Well, give us explain everything.
Yeah, so we were, we had just gotten married. I think we got married and then we immediately moved back into the house, right?
Mm-hmm. We did.
We moved there immediately, so it was really on the outskirts of town.
I need more detail.
Yeah.
So you guys had two houses.
Yeah.
You brought two houses into one.
Right.
And you moved to your income property, which is how far away from?
Yeah, it's a good 60 miles from Atlanta, maybe 70. Could be 70.
Country.
Yeah, it's definitely the country, but it was had a vision. I had a vision there of, hey, we can go get out here. We can save money. We can get the property right, which is what we did. So I put, probably $20,000-$30,000 into the house, and got it right for the next person. So, and then once we did that, we moved into our house that we got.
The Noah's Ark house.
Yeah, we got a nice size house.
They don't even call what you have a house. It's property.
As my aunt would say, a mansion.
Mansion. They call it estate.
Yes,
estate.
It definitely is a state.
It is,
and we're blessed. And
because I walked around it one night. I got sleepy before I got to the basement. I was tired.
Yeah. No, and even how that worked out was, we talked about it before. When it is God's plan for you, and it's God's plan, things just work out. Just like you were saying, how we had enough money just ready to go. You already had an 800 score ready to go, right? Because you had already been planning that,
right? Well, no, I wasn't planning anything,
right? Well,
I was preparing,
right, for the opportunity, Same way. So I was, preparing for that opportunity whenever it arose, because I was like, I've always called out, this is the type of house I want,
right? And
I said that. I called it out. I don't care. The last 10 years, I've said the same thing. When I buy my house with my wife, this is what I want. So I waited. We waited until that opportunity presented itself. It happened. And I saw this house. I've been looking at this house probably 3 or 4 months. And the price all of a sudden went down. I was like, whoa, what's going on over here? And we were in the process of looking. So we looked at 2 houses.
Yeah, we did.
We looked at 2 houses. The second one was
neighborhoods.
that one that I said, I called up my real estate agent. I was like, hey, let's go look at it. Let's go see. Okay, well, the house needs a little bit of work. I don't care. You see this price?
Right.
You see where it's at? You see everything that's about to be in it. The house appraised at almost $350 more than what I bought it for.
God.
That's what it appraised at when we bought it. So that's what we moved into equity.
Right.
And then to get it right, putting more money into it and getting it right, I mean, it's almost double. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Miss Tanya, how was that transition going from city living to country living?
I was actually more okay with it than Ariel. Like he loved the city.
Mm-hmm.
He
I'm
was
a city
more in
person.
the city. I was kind of in the suburb.
I
a
know
bit.
that
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
I definitely like to
But do
see.
you know why?
He likes to be in the action.
No, he grew up in the country, so the city
That's true.
life looks very
Mhm.
appealing because
That's
you've
true.
never
Well,
really
it
seen
was,
that.
yeah.
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 It looked appealing,
And
and it
I'm
was.
the opposite. I grew up in the city,
Right.
so at an older
Suburbs are
age,
good.
I didn't want to live
Mhm.
in the city ever again. That's why we live where we live.
Yeah. No, I like the amenities of the city and how quickly you can get around. Never have to
Mhm.
drive your car. You can get places in 10 minutes. You know, go to the Hawks game, go to the Falcons game, be there 10 minutes, walk home if you need to. Yeah, I love that.
I love leaving 2 hours before the game.
Oh my gosh, nobody loves that.
Hour drive to get there. We get our food right as the
Right.
game starts. Sitting down. I might have a 45-minute drive back,
Right.
but I ain't got to deal with them crackheads
Yeah, you're
on
right.
the road.
Mhm.
But
There's
you know,
trade-offs to both.
huh?
There's trade-offs to both. Yeah,
Yeah.
the people is definitely one of them, and the crackheads are serious.
And your situation is very similar. That you moved 60 miles away to establish your home. I moved 60 miles away from where I was living
Mhm.
to establish my home, where I had an hour drive to work every day.
Mhm.
And I was
Did the
like,
same thing,
what am
yeah.
I going to do with this hour? And I was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to just praise God for this hour going and
Yep.
doing. I didn't have any traffic coming or going. And it was for the benefit of the family. It was for me to benefit her, and she did it to benefit you.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you
we in that short amount of time, because that was what, maybe a year,
Yeah.
maybe a year, and so much stuff was established in that year. Like you said, I didn't have to drive to work; she did, and she was fine with it for the most part.
Right.
Like she just did that little hour drive to the city and came on back, and it was, it was all good. So, it did work out how it needed to work out, and we needed that time, in the country. I think it was
Oh
good.
yeah. Yeah. We love it now.
so when it comes to fatherhood, we have to now balance who we want to be off of who God is, which is our Father. And what is he? He's a protector. He's a provider. He goes the extra mile to make sure that his sacrifice is beneficial for his children.
Right.
Jesus was the greatest sacrifice God could ever give.
Mhm.
But what do we have? Patience.
Yep.
God is long suffering. He's enduring. He's perfect. And as close to I am as, I'm not gonna say that much. But any questions, call us at 470-412-0917, or you can email us at menofpromise2018@gmail.com. We're having a conversation about fathers, and particularly these two fathers dealing with these two wives and children.
Mhm.
And again, the things that I went through as a child, and we had the conversation last week about men who did not have fathers in
Right.
their lives, and there's a purpose and a reason why.
Mhm.
For me, God, or let me give you my statement first. The sperm that makes a child is important enough for the child to be formed,
Mhm.
but the influence of the father might not be important to be in the kid's life. I met many of people who said, well, my dad wasn't in my life. So when I went to God and I said, well, Lord, why wasn't my dad in my life? He said he was not mature enough to get you where I needed for you to go. So I'd rather him not be in your life and for me to guide you so that you'll have all the things that I want you to have through me and not through his misguidement. Because there were some things my dad instilled in me that if I followed this day, you would have a couple sister wives. I'll tell you that right now. I'm being serious. I'm just telling you what
I
I was
wouldn't have no sister wife.
Right.
I'd be a divorced wife.
His face.
Ain't no divorce. We said no divorce. So you and Miss Betty would have to get along. Don't you shook your head no when I said we need to get married in 3 months, but what happened? Anyway. No, and so with my dad being in my life, there are some things that he he instilled in me that were good, and there was a lot of other negative stuff.
Yep.
And God was like, I don't want you being influenced. And actually, what I've now found out it was a breakaway of generational curses that God didn't want me to. Well, I saw it, but He didn't want me being intricate in my life. So He broke me away and said, I'm finna father you. I'm gonna show you the man I want you to be. And so, thus, the challenges in my life that I had to overcome to be the man that I am. But having you as a wife, as difficult as you are sometimes, is a blessing. Because my blessing for things I never prayed for came through marrying you. I don't know if you knew that. Me moving to Atlanta.
I didn't know I was difficult.
We had that conversation this morning. When I say don't and stop, you're supposed to don't and stop. When I say don't and stop, you keep going.
That's not being difficult. That's giving you what you need.
That'll
really
be another,
mean it.
That'll be another conversation. So here we go. So this is for the men out there who are married. And I can attest to this, not just with me, but other people who I mentor who have made a decision to marry when God says married, to take on children that may not be theirs, but to sacrifice their life for their wives. So I'll set it up for you. I'm in LA, center of the universe, other than New York at the time. My barbershop, I'm making 6 figures. 3-hour wait in my barbershop. A business I built by hand with credit and all that good stuff. Nobody helped me. I'm in it 4 years. I get married, and God is like, all right, I want you to move to Atlanta. Not knowing that the 15-minute haircuts I was doing in Inglewood, California, now would play an integral part in the movie industry in Atlanta, Georgia, which was building, which was growing. I never asked God to be a celebrity barber. I never asked God to give me celebrity clients. I would always see actors and be like, man, I would like to cut his hair. And just was like, that'll never happen because in the center of the universe, it moves so fast. I wasn't in that scene. Well, when I moved here, I was like, all right, God, what am I going to do? He said, cut hair. So we started cutting hair, and I'm cutting in this barbershop. And one of my clients is the director. I direct movies.
Okay.
I'm like, dog, you lying. Anyway, I'm from California. Everybody do something. And so he comes to me on a Wednesday. He said, hey, I got an actor that's shooting on Saturday. And he don't like the haircut that the barber on set is giving him. Okay. Can you come cut his hair? So I'm like, go lying again.
Yeah, right.
So he gave me the address. Now it's a Saturday, so you know what kind of money they made on Saturday. So I drive to this address, and I see production trailers everywhere. I'm like, this dude, lie. So I get there, and it was Michael Jai White.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who, whenever I've worked with, has been incredible. But the snowball effect of moving to Atlanta was I intricately got put in a place where not just I was needed, that all the barbers that are in the industry today in Atlanta, especially black ones, are walking in the footsteps of the path that I trailblazed.
It's great.
And so getting in there and a barber taking an hour and a half on a haircut and me taking 20 minutes, people were like, who is that guy? Where he come from? Because the barber's always making the whole production late. So the production rolled into another production, another production, another production, another production.
Acting in one of the movies.
Oh, yeah, I had a star role.
No,
you know
what a superstar.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell. Well, I don't want to put everything out there that I do. But yeah, it's in the movie.
He was barbering in the movie.
You were a SWAT person.
Don't
or something.
tell him.
Oh, we gotta find this movie.
I said I had a star role.
Can you wear that SWAT outfit again?
All right, we'll talk about that later. Podcast right now, sweetheart. Don't stop. But as I was here, I began to see that the sacrifice that I made for my wife was actually the blessing that God was giving me. And now being one of the top 10 celebrity barbers in the nation, people calling me for classes, people want me to teach at their barber colleges. It was like, all right, I made the right decision because it wasn't about me. It had to be for my family. And that's what a father's supposed to do. It's not about I'm the dad, this is what I'm supposed to do, which is part of his what he's supposed to do.
Right.
But it's also making the sacrifice for the family, for what's best in the leadership of God. You know, the house we bought, the house we're in right now, like they have a mansion.
Your sacrifice has basically
We have a mansion.
established legacy in your family.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that, you know, that's powerful when you think about a man coming in, finding a wife with a child that already has an established family. You know, you came in and you further established the family. You made sacrifices that now is leaving a legacy. That's powerful.
You know, and the other legacy is I want my sons to do better. I want all my children to do better
Yes.
than me. And that's actually happening. My 23-year-old,
CJ?
he's going to buy a house.
He was 22 when he was getting ready, but yeah, he's at 23.
Yeah,
he's
really
getting ready
good.
to buy a house.
He's going to buy a house.
Yeah.
Russell
Doing
bought
well
2
early.
houses.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
That's the goal.
Yep.
That's the goal, is to pass on legacy. And so when you were in a position of saying Craig has to come into us, it was mutually we had to come into each other because there were some things that God wanted you to have.
That's so powerful. You know, that's why it's so important, I think, in relationship for people to look at things from different angles, because the way you view something is really how you're going to operate in it. You know, if you view that someone else is coming on your turf, then you're looking at it from that way. But if you look at it like they got a turf and I got a turf, and how do we bring these turfs together and make them one turf? You know, it's all about how you look at it. You know,
And this is the other thing. I'm not saying that women don't have vision, because if there's not a man in your life, God will give you vision. But if you have a real man, Ariel had a vision.
Sure did.
And it was not where they were comfortable. 60 miles, that's a nice ride.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice
Definitely had to drive it sometime.
Yeah, it's a nice ride. But his vision furthered their cause. Now, when they have children, y'all having children, right?
Of course.
Okay, I want y'all to have 7 now. Catch up with us.
No.
Y'all got to catch up. Y'all got a lot of work to do.
Not at all.
Don't be don't be selfish.
Yeah. Don't be selfish.
Because watch this. We stopped at 3.
Whoa.
God said 4 more. Right?
Okay.
I got pregnant with the last 3 on birth control. 3 different birth control.
Wow.
So you know what my middle name is, right? Superman.
Yes.
Able to leave birth control in a single bound.
Yeah, I see. Wow.
And adopted one.
Yep.
So, for those out there that are listening, I'm not taking away from the single parent, single mother experience, because some people with society are going to have to go through that. But God is preparing a man for you as he's preparing you for a man, for a husband. But you have to be able to be moldable,
right? Because
that man could be right next door, or he could be an email away. I mean, I have to use it as an example because it happened.
An email away.
You didn't expect all this in this. And when I sent that
we
email,
met through a friend,
right?
A mutual friend.
No, we met through an email.
Just an email away. That's,
what was our first conversation?
It was through email.
Right.
Your
friend did not say, Craig, this is shit.
Because I wouldn't give her my phone. I told her she better not give you my phone number.
She had already given me.
I didn't want to meet nobody that was crazy. I had to make sure you weren't.
She
crazy.
had already given me your address, the city you lived in. I had all that.
He decided to contact you by
right.
email.
I decided because I just bought a computer that week and I need to learn how to use it.
Try this thing out.
Let me try to email her.
Here we go. Watch this. I just bought this computer. How do you send the email?
He's telling the truth.
Email
I'm being serious.
That's funny.
But no, I'm being serious. When the possibilities of me and you meeting.
Yeah, it's crazy. You on the other side of the country. You're in California. I'm in Georgia.
And the girl that introduced her, us.
She moved to Georgia pretty much just to introduce us, and then she moved right back to LA.
And I'm telling you right
Yeah.
now,
Wow.
it's her fault
Mhm.
that I've been married to her 25 years
Mhm.
because she said, "Oh, they would make a nice couple,"
Yep.
Mhm.
and we did. But that was God's plan for us.
It was.
Mhm.
So the impossibilities are possible with God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And single women understand there is somebody out there that wants to marry you, wants to be married to the woman that you are. But you have to be prepared. You have to be open. Because just like you said, I had to come into your world when really you were coming into my world, which protected you, gave you a lot more than what you established or what you already had. It really multiplied it.
Mhm.
So the car you gave away or I gave away?
Yeah, he gave my car away, paid for, gave it away.
Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like wealth building.
Okay, so in the in banking, you deposit wealth. I was depositing into the spiritual wealth.
Okay.
Because
All right.
the car she was gonna make $400 off of, God was like, just give it to the guy. He already struggled.
$400. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
It was, but
No, he
But it
sold
was-
my car for $400.
Yeah.
you just said
Oh.
I
I
gave
was
it
just about to
away.
say-
It
Okay.
was. It
You
was.
said I gave it
determined
away.
that wasn't
It's
the
a lot more
value
than
of
that.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
She was selling the car for $400. The guy had to ride the bus for 6 hours to get to us. I was like, man, that $400 is not gonna make us
Yeah.
or break us. But what did you get in return?
You got me a brand new car. You promised me that you were going to get me a brand new car.
Right.
And you gave
So-
it away,
so-
but I was still mad that he just paid.
She's still mad to
My
this
car
day.
was paid for.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I was just like,
That
you
car
just
was a
gave me my car.
liability.
Okay.
Well,
That's what it was. He didn't want to drive it across country
Mhm.
or drag it across country.
Drive it. I could have put it on my back and carry it across country.
His whole family made fun of me because they were like, when I was driving in front of him, he was like, "Man, I got a remote control in my hand. That car's just going."
You remember the Yugos?
No.
It was
yeah,
a
what?
Daihatsu.
It was
Okay.
a Korean Yugo.
Daihatsu.
Wow.
That's what
I didn't know
had.
anybody owned one of those.
Yeah, nobody did own one.
It was cute. It was black. It was really
Oh
cute.
my
Tinted
God.
windows.
I had
love
to
my
sit in the
car.
back seat just to get in the car. That's how big it was.
He did. He did. It was perfect for me, though.
Well, it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
A good thing about it is we are two couples who are friends. We're two couples. We go to we see each other at the games.
Mhm.
We'll be
Mhm.
seeing each other at the Falcon games. Did
Yep.
you get 4 seats this season or just 2?
No, just two. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you're not inviting us down to. The goal of this podcast is to have a conversation like in a barbershop. It's
Yes.
a rolling conversation. It doesn't have it has a beginning, but it doesn't have an
Right.
end. And even though we're talking about fathers, we're talking about the experiences of your children's fathers and how it's blessed you, but what sacrifice a father has to take. Men in the last 20 or 30 years have not been the providers. They have not been the sacrifices that they were supposed to be. And I'm not talking like your dad is Superman, so it's
Right.
different, but
Yeah.
like he's 10%
Mhm.
of 1% of,
Right.
of
No,
what's out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's important when a man has a vision, and even though that vision may be challenging, he's going to see that vision out, whether he's right or wrong.
Right.
And then, God does not care about us making mistakes because that's part of success. Failure. How many times did the Wright brothers fail at flying this airplane until they got it right?
Right.
What God wants you to do is succeed, but he wants you to lessen the effect of failure in your life by doing it his way.
Right.
And so it's important for us to have this conversation because there are women out there who are single parents that are saying, when I get a man, he has to do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. And everything that you wanted me to do, I did, but I did it my way, which established you to then say, wow, he don't love me by my terms or standards or what my expectations are, but I see the love in what he's doing. And it has to be reciprocal for the relationship to work. Just like Tanya had to drive 60 miles, right? But that was part of the vision and what was going on. Was the son with y'all also?
Part time.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had to
Okay.
make a decision on school and
Right.
everything.
Yeah, because
Right.
he was still going to school in Dunwoody.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I would get up, take him to school,
Yep.
and go to work.
And then go to work. That's what had to happen for a year.
Yeah.
But we were blessed immensely
because
by
of
that year.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys have any last comments about the conversation? Is there anything you want to say to the people out there, or make a statement or comment?
No, but I think maybe the next conversation can go into
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
into expectations, because you were just talking about
It's called co-host. The co-pilot don't steer the plane. He assists the pilot.
They steer it sometimes.
If the pilot is drunk, the co-host can steer it all he wants. No, go ahead, babe.
No, I was just saying about expectations. Like, you know, you were just kind of talking about, you know, when things started and you loving me in your way, but me expecting you to do certain things that show me love in that way. You know, and you talk about sometimes the languages of the love languages, but it's not even just that. It's also expectation.
So let's talk about expectation, because
I think that'll be a really good topic.
Because this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Women want men to show their love in affection, which we can. That's not how 90% of the men show affection. They show affection and love in their duties and their responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And part of love is being affectionate. But when a man wakes up and says, I'm finna fix my wife, and I'll share with y'all this. My wife had to be someplace at 6 o'clock in the morning. The brakes had gone out in the car, in her car. So it's 12:30 at night. Me and my son are out fixing the brakes in her car to make sure she was where she was supposed to be at 6 a.m. in the morning. Mm-hmm. So a man is happy in showing his love in providing and protecting
and doing things like that. Whereas a woman looks at stuff like that as, in some instances, is that's what he's supposed to do. You know, it's just like an expectation, right?
It is.
And it's not, I mean, even though we know you love us, but when you do stuff like that, we appreciate it, but it's not looked at like, oh, this is so loving,
right?
You know, that he's doing this.
Right, exactly.
It's kind of like, well, he's supposed to, you know, my brakes are out, he's supposed to fix it.
Like,
but that's what I wanted to get to, that it's really kind of a messed up way, I think, for a lot of us women to view as a man is supposed to do these things, because everything that you do is really a blessing. And it's an act of kindness. It's an act of giving, you know, kind of like when we cook dinner, you know, to us, when we make a nice meal and we've been in the kitchen slaving all day, you know, sometimes men look at it like, well, we got to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, everybody got to eat. But to us, in some instances, that's an act of love.
It is.
Like we're trying to make a really nice meal. We're trying to make what you like. You know, we want you to enjoy it, and we're showing love by doing that. So I think it goes both ways. But the
especially
expectations,
right?
Do you cook?
I can't cook.
No, do you cook? Absolutely not.
Oh yeah. No, wait, hold on.
He grills.
Okay, that's a part. That's a part of cooking.
Yeah.
Yes,
but he made it sound like when you walked in the house, it was a full course meal.
What? Huh?
What? Absolutely not.
I can do a full course.
But I think, I just want to say,
Yeah.
as couples, and even, you know, not just about Father's Day, but every day, you know, we need to check our expectations. We need to check how we view the things that our spouse does for us, because all of it should be valued and appreciated and not just expected, because all of it is love. You know?
So, and you made a valid point. Like, I took Thanksgiving dinner for granted.
Yeah.
No, I'm for real.
Okay.
Until I had to cook it.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Walk around that kitchen 5,622 times. You gonna have a respect for the person. And it happened in tragedy. And my mother-in-law passed away in her house. And so my wife went to the hospital.
Yep.
And so I have a house full of kids. We had a ghetto turkey, had bullet holes all in the.
She passed away on Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so we do this big thing on Thanksgiving. We have a big brunch, and then we don't eat till later on that night. But my wife was gone. I had a house full of people.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do?
Fry them turkeys up.
Well, we didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Turkey fryer yet.
We didn't. I didn't get any oil.
You had the air fryer then. I
No, we
think.
didn't. I didn't have the one I have now.
That was in 2018. Yeah,
I
you
don't
fried.
remember.
I don't know the turkey. We had turkey though.
I
think
baked
you.
that
You
turkey.
probably did it the night before. No, you never baked. You fried. Either you fried it or you air fried it. But regardless, you made the dressing. You made the. You did it all. You made it all. Yeah. I mean, the cornbread was some sweet cornbread dressing because you put the sugar.
Don't tell
substitute
people.
the
I
sugar
don't
for
tell
the
people what
flour.
my ingredients are.
no.
But everybody loved it. It was
No.
like, it's the best dressing. I said, why is the dressing
sweet.
so sweet? Yeah, it tasted like
Sweet
tasted
dressing.
like cake. But it was actually
You mean-
good.
you mean
When
the-
you married the gravy and
Yeah.
everything with, I was
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
Listen, don't be giving my cooking secrets
Some
out.
little sugar in it.
Sweet.
No, all right. So where I come from, we eat two different type of cornbreads. Have you ever had Marie Callender's cornbread? You got to try a place called Marie Callender's. It's more like cake. It's
Yeah.
sweet. It's
Yeah.
Eat that
Well,
here.
we use
yeah.
Jiffy. We just add the sugar.
That's what I made.
Yeah.
yeah. But
She's
that
just
was the
used-
dressing. That
Right.
was the
When you make
dressing.
it for.
Listen, she's used to
Yeah,
that
you
rock
don't put the
hard
sugar in.
brick.
Oh, no
Uh,
taste.
Yeah,
Nah,
cornbread.
No,
nah.
but
Yeah.
you're.
Mm.
It was
Yeah.
sweet
Nah.
dressing. I got
It was.
never had
It was
Do that.
my
cake.
dressing.
We called it cake dressing.
Cake dressing.
So funny.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loved it though.
Mhm.
They did.
I believe
I was so impressed. I mean, just the fact that he did that.
That cake
You
dressing.
know, it
Your cake
meant
dressing
the
was
world.
good.
Yeah.
Smile.
I was so proud of him.
I'm just mad because
you know?
she's throwing my ingredient list out there.
Sugar
We having cake
and-
dressing next year.
Sugar and more.
And giblet gravy.
There it is.
I was like, we were joking with him too. We said we just need some icing. That's all we need.
It's a whole cake.
We need some icing to throw.
and you're my friend.
I'm just saying. You say
Some gravy
icing and then
icing.
they throw the
Yeah, and then we
grow
needed-
gravy on
and-
top of
and
it.
we needed to layer it, you know.
Okay. So next week I'll have 3 different co-hosts on the podcast. Mr. Kim, you need to come out the booth next week. We come bring you out of retirement.
Oh man.
But no, I'm going back to the point. I took Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
I mean, I would always make the turkey,
Right.
but she was up at 3 a.m. the
Oh,
night
yeah, that's a
before,
lot.
and then she cooked all day. I never experienced that, and I slept for 2 days after Thanksgiving because
I believe it.
I was tired.
Right.
But when I realized what I had been through, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking of the previous 19 years that I only participated with a turkey and all that she did, I was just like, this ain't fair.
Yeah.
And I went to her and I apologized and I told her how much I appreciate everything she does for Thanksgiving. I did it one time. I'll never do it again. But if you need help, I'm there. I'm not heading it up. All right.
I'll take care of the turkey.
Yeah. That's my job.
Gotcha.
That's my job. That's my job.
Kill that last turkey.
How are you doing with your turkey?
Turkey was great.
It was good?
Yes.
Turkey was on point.
Yeah, where'd you get your
Yeah.
recipe from? And we're going to end the show on that. Miss Tanya, do you have any last words? Anything you want to say about this conversation?
Not especially.
No? Okay.
No.
Ariel?
Yeah, I think it was a good conversation. Yeah, we went down some different places today with our wives here, so
All right.
it felt a little different, didn't it?
Well, it's
Yeah.
not me and you.
Right,
going
yeah,
back and
right.
forth.
So and it was good. It
Yeah.
was good.
So next week, we're going to talk about expectations in relationships. Because once you come into our world, our expectation for you is to do what we're doing or have the outlook that we have. Not be who we are, but operate in the same principles that we operate in.
Yeah, you think that people are going to take on your principles?
Yeah.
The way that I do or go about life.
Right.
Yeah,
Which you should.
yeah. We got us here, right?
Yeah.
Can you take on some of this? But it
Not
doesn't-
take on.
doesn't happen. Not take on. Like I said, see the principles I live by,
Right.
and by saying take on, like really
Try to
operate in
operate
those
them.
in, in those principles. But it doesn't.
It doesn't
happen
always.
happen
It doesn't
like
always
that.
translate over.
I think there are some principles that we probably operate in that you guys could take on as
Oh,
well.
no, I took on a son.
Okay.
It happens.
Mm. Yep.
I took on a son. It happens. It's when we marry women with children, you're saying it's what we're supposed to do. We're saying it is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not I have to. It's what I'm doing regardless of what your expectation is. So my principle for her is I want you to become a businesswoman like I'm a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she likes that check coming in every week, but then that check has you bounded from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. if they need you, where I might operate from 9 to 6, but I can stop when I want. I can start when I want. Mm-hmm. There are some challenges in there, but if we're both free at the same time, I just recently told her, you're going to have to start choosing between your business and your job.
Okay.
And I just want to do both.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't be on the pole and the corner at the same time. You got to give one up. You a wife now.
Just put the pole on the corner.
Dang, I like how she worked that out. All right, Miss Tanya, you got let's start watching you. All right, so we had a good conversation. Any questions? Thank you guys for coming in. You added a lot to this conversation, and it's a blessing because the goal is to spin them off into their own podcast where we could be co-hosts of their podcast. Right. And so next week we're going to pick up on, what'd you say?
That should be fun.
It's going to be fun. Expectations that men and women have coming into marriage, coming into a relationship. And what I wanted to go through, I think we talked about it was, what do you say, dating? No, that was after. Well, I want to have a conversation about dating in today's world versus how we dated.
That's another good one. Yeah, because I was giving some dating advice to some young bucks, and I think it could really benefit a lot of people.
Well, you should have been giving it to your ex-boyfriends, but I'm glad you didn't because the advice that you
bring up my ex-boyfriends a lot.
Well, listen, I married that. When you came into this relationship, all that was my responsibility. You brought that into the relationship. You have to understand, from my perspective, you married some failures. I mean, you dated some failures.
You married some failures.
Right,
I'm sorry, you dated some failures.
So your all your exes just done.
Mine were experiment. They were practice.
Okay, I was
they
gonna
were.
say, I'm like.
They were practice before I got you.
Well, you showed you needed more practice.
What you mean I needed more practice?
Oh, you needed more practice.
I need to practice with more women.
They weren't good practice.
Actually, they prepared me very well for you. Because who reaped the benefit of all the failures?
Can we aren't we wrapping this?
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Up?
All right, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Mr. Kim, is it time to wrap? You know what? When did y'all ever go to a Catholic church?
No.
You know the Catholic Church is the
Craig, this is Moses.
Jesus is coming.
Want to see God.
Time to wrap. Time to wrap.
All right, we'll pick up next week where we left off. Again, great having you. Thank you, Ariel Prater, Ms. Prater, Ms. Sanders, and we'll pick this up next week. Blessings. We out.
All right.